G'day beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to look at Riktor, we're going to look at his stats, his scaling, and my build for him. So if you're going to find this video useful in any way, shape or form, please smash that like button, I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe for more Paragon content. With that said, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so looking at Riktor, he is a melee intellect corruption hero. He has a basic attack power of 3, ability attack power of 3, durability of 10 and a mobility of 1. His general statistics, he has 585 base health which ends up at 1691, nice and tanky. He has health regen of 2 at the start which ends up at 6.2, which is quite nice. Where he kind of struggles a bit being a fighter, he starts with 200 mana and ends up at 830 when his stuff is quite expensive, so that's not too great. His mana regen ends up at 2, which is also not too great, but his basic armor ends up at 31.5, and as per everyone else, 30.5 ability armor at level 15. Alright, moving on to his basic attack, which is Whip. Don't expect too much from this. It does start off at 64.5 damage, which is quite nice. He gets 1.5 per level, has 0.2 cleave and a power scaling of 0.5495. Okay, so being a sort of a tanky fighter, he doesn't have the best scaling in the world. It's not bad. 0.5495, you're going to end up with 54.95 damage for every 100 power that you put on your build. He is quite good on his power per level and his starting damage, but you're not really intending to kill too many people with him when you're running him as a support. So next up we have Riplash. This is arguably the only ability that it should take first. His silence is quite good, but Riplash is a long range skill shot that pulls an enemy hero or minions directly to Riktor if they are hit. Starts off by doing 75 damage, ends up at 225, has a flat mana cost of 110, which is quite expensive. The hook range is now flat at 1525, which is great. He used to struggle at level 1. His power scaling is 0.75 on that, so 75 extra damage for every 100 power on your build, and a cooldown of 14 seconds flat. Okay, it's a marvelous ability, and it's one that just makes him ridiculous as a support. If you are good at landing this, I'm sure we've all seen a couple of Riktor montages. You can make some intense plays happen, especially when you combo that with the rest of your abilities and your allied heroes' abilities as well. Alright, so moving on, we have Electrocute, an AoE around Riktor that deals ability damage over 5 seconds. The ability damage starts at 100, ends up at 280, so that's 280 over 5 seconds. The mana cost is 55 flat, it lasts for 5 seconds, the cooldown is 12 seconds, and it has a power scaling of 0.75. So once again, 75 damage added for every 100 power on your build. It's a very, very good ability. It allows him to sort of get a little bit of wave clear done when he's left to defend a lane on his own. Allows you to get some solo farm in and get a little bit stronger. Don't expect too much from it from there though, and the AoE isn't too large, but I mean it's not the most expensive of his abilities, so if you're in there and you've pulled and altered and silenced someone, why not pop Electrocute? Alright, next up we have Shock Therapy, probably his second best normal ability. Once activated, next hit with Whip does additional ability damage and applies a silence and a slow. So the ability damage that it does is an extra 30 at level 1 and 75 at level 4. It costs 25 mana, which is good. The slow and the silence duration, so he gets slowed and he is silenced, which means they can't use abilities, for 1.25 seconds at level 1, 2 seconds at max level. The power scaling is 0.25, so you're not going to get too much out of it. The cooldown is 21 seconds at max and 21 at the first level and 12 at max. And the movement speed slow starts at 125 and ends at 275. So it's not the best slow, but it is still good. It's a great ability mixed in with the silence. Once you land a pull and you silence someone, they're pretty much stuck there copying damage off your teammates for a little bit. And then if you use the next ability, which is his ultimate called Skewer, in combo with that, it's the disgusting combo. Riktor targets a wedge in front of him and skewers that area, dealing ability damage and applying a stun. After the stun, Riktor rips his skewer out, dealing more damage. So it starts off by doing 200 damage. ends up at 360. The mana cost is 75 flat. The stun duration is 1.5 seconds. The power scaling is 0.75, so 75 damage for every 100 power that you put on your build. And the cooldown starts at 105 and ends up at 75. The 75-second cooldown is quite nice. It is a very, very good ability. It leaves them stunned for 1.5 seconds. When comboed with the rest of your kit, it's a great ability. When comboed with the rest of your team's stuns and roots and knockups and whatnot and slows, it's very, very, very good. Okay, so what you tend to try to do is get a pull on someone, let your ultimate off, keep them in place for a bit, copying damage, and then if they're still alive, grab a bit of a silence on them to keep them going. You can use this, as I said, to hold people in place while your team do damage, in the middle of your team's Howie ult, stuff like that, and also just to sort of keep some enemies pinned while your carry or whoever gets away. So he has a really good kit. He's a bit more of a difficult hero to get used to. His pulls can be a bit finicky at times, but with enough practice, I'm sure you'll do quite well. So we'll move on to the build portion now, because I think I've talked about him enough. Okay guys, so here we are over on the Paragon deck builder. This is my deck, which I call the Jerkoff machine. Alright, so we have Centurion as the prime card. Obviously we want as much health as possible. I have a guard token and a healer token in there. They're completely optional. Chuck whatever you like in there. Chuck a couple of mana potions or whatever you have. We have a Lord's Ward, which is our throwaway card that we take at the start of the game. We have a Circlet of Health. Obviously, once we get rid of this, we take a Circlet of Health. Okay. Then I have two early game cards, which are the Pendulum of Lords with 3 lesser healths. Okay. And then we have a Solaris Reactor with 3 basic sparks or basic chronos, whichever one you have. Okay. We have a Brawler's Ward with 3 lesser manas. We have an Elder Mage Amulet with a greater health, and a greater health. We also have an Amulet of the Veteran with 3 greater health. Doesn't matter which one you use, Amulet of the Veteran or Elder Mage Amulet. They're both the same thing. It's just you can put power on one, you can't put power on the other. We have a Quenching Scales, which I take as early as I can with 2 basic sparks and a spark. And then for our armor, we have a Quantum Casing with a Minor Guard and 2 guards, and a Thermo Bond with 3 guards. Okay. And then a Teleblink with a basic spark and a spark. This is potentially to replace the Quenching Scales if you need it, okay? So if we go over to test build, okay, we'll take that off. Alright, so as I said, these are completely optional. You take your Lord's Ward first, you get rid of it, and you grab Circlet of Health, okay? Then from there, I would probably grab my Brawler's, you will have this on, I'll grab my Brawler's Ward, and you won't have that on. And max it out as soon as I can, because he needs the extra mana, okay? From there, I will grab a Solaris Reactor and put 3 basic sparks on it. Then I will grab a Quenching Scales, put 2 basic sparks and a spark on. So we're doing alright for mana regen at the moment. Okay, and then from here we really want to build health. So I'll grab a Pendulum of Lords. It'll give us a little bit of extra mana regen, a little bit of mana, and some health. Okay, and then from there, we want to build the cheapest health card that we have, which is our Elder Mage Amulet. But we do not want it there. So we'll get rid of the Circlet of Health, grab that, and hopefully it goes over there. It does. Okay. Now, from here, I would much prefer to go into the extra health. Okay, so I'll end up getting that extra health. And then it's time to build armor. So considering that I'm going to get a little bit of extra mana regen off of this, I can kind of get rid of this. I'm going to lose out on 0.9, but who cares really. So we'll get rid of Solaris Reactor. We'll build into Quantum Casing. And then from there we want a Thermo Bond. So we have to get rid of something, which is going to be our Pendulum of Lords. We'll grab the Thermo Bond with 3 barriers on it. Okay, so we're at max build, and we're sitting pretty on 2700 and 2841 health. Okay, and we have a little bit of power on there, 42 just from all our cards. We have 81 basic resistance. We have 59 ability resistance. We've got an extra 120 mana and an extra 2.4 mana regen. So the mana regen's not great, but let's be honest, you're only really going to be using your pulls and your ultimate and your silence. You've got like 10-12 seconds between them, so you're not really a burst hero, so you're not going to worry about that. And the only other thing is the Teleblink. Now, if I feel like I need to use Teleblink, I'll get rid of Quenching Scales and grab Teleblink. Okay? So you'll end up on 1100 health, so you've lost 50 health, but you just have the survivability off of the Teleblink, and you still end up on 4.1 mana regen. So my preferred is to have Quenching Scales. Don't ride off the 225 health and the basic armor, because the moment a team fight starts and a couple of your people start losing health, if you pop this, it's really actually going to help, because that 21 basic armor for 20 seconds is a huge benefit to your team. Okay, so that is the build, guys, as I currently have it. So I will put a link to this build in the description down below. So if you found this video useful in any way, shape or form, please smash that like button. I appreciate the help very, very much. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the build or the video in general, and consider subscribing for more Paragon content if you are not already subscribed. But as per usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.